Welcome to the Benning Report. In this edition, reaffirming our commitment to keeping our Army families strong, Fort Benning renews the Army Family Covenant. And Black history in the military. The two go hand in hand. We'll show you why. And later, taking it for a test drive. Is new equipment in store for the Army? Find out just ahead. From the Fort Benning Public Affairs Office, I'm Jennifer Gunn, and this is the Benning Report, where Fort Benning's promise to take care of military families was renewed last month when the Army Family Covenant was re-signed at the Kelly Hill Recreation Center January 23rd. The Army Family Covenant was created 2 years ago by Army Chief of Staff General George Casey in order to ensure that families left behind during the influx of deployments are taken care of. It was a promise of the Department of the Army that committed $1.4 billion to improve the care and services available for our Army families. Signing the covenant was our Commanding General Major General Michael Barbero, Installation Command Sergeant Major Joe Ulibarri, Garrison Commander Colonel Thomas McDonald, and Garrison Command Sergeant Major James Foreman. Command Sergeant Major Dan Hewell of 3rd Brigade's 3-1 Cav and his family represented all our Fort Benning families during the ceremony. Evidence of the covenant in action on Fort Benning so far can be seen in the improvement of programs like deployment readiness, the expansion of our outdoor recreational facilities, and some new construction projects around posts to include new housing and child care facilities.
You know, I really admire Army spouses and families because most soldiers now have been on their 4th deployment. And so when we are able to provide respite care, and by that I mean when soldiers are downrange and moms need a break, we've been able to open our child care centers up on Saturdays.
Because of the covenant, 4 new child care centers are coming to Fort Benning, and starting in March, Smith Fitness Center will have new hours, opening 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Stressing the importance of our Army families, General Barbero said the signing represented Fort Benning's commitment to keeping our Army families strong.
The strength of our soldiers that I've seen in Baghdad and other places is a direct result of the support of their families back here. They know their families are being taken care of. They're going to go down range and accomplish their mission and be focused on that. And our job is to make sure that our great soldiers don't have to worry about anything that's provided for their families. That's our job, is to take care of them, and I take that very seriously.
From our families across post to our families across the sea, more than 300 soldiers of the 173rd Airborne Brigade combat team stationed in Schweinfurt and Bamberg, Germany, and Vicenza, Italy took a 10-hour flight to attend the basic airborne course at Fort Benning in January. Our Matthew Clegg tells us why.
1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000.
There are schools in Italy and Germany, but when it comes to airborne training, there's no place like home.
Check cam again, cam control. Airborne! What are you looking for?
The home of the U.S. Army Airborne School, that is.
Check canopy again, canopy control. Recover.
It seemed the best option was to bring it back here to Fort Benning. Besides, it's the home of the paratrooper. It's where the tradition started. Why not have it here? You know, these guys are part of the brotherhood, despite the fact that, again, they may come here, get 5 jumps, and never do it again. But they're now part of the brotherhood, and they will carry that combat patch from Airborne Brigade. It's 11 straight days. 4 days of ground week, 4 days of tower week, 3 days of jumping, you know, two jumps in 2 of the days, and then we're out of here.
Soldiers of the 173rd are being put through the paces of jump school. And while it's not unusual for soldiers of an airborne brigade to be jump qualified, what is unique is that this entire class, about 330 of them in all, is made up of soldiers from the brigade.
For the fact that our brigade combat teams actually take an entire class up, I think is amazing.
1,000, 2,000, 3,000.
Just last year, the 173rd redeployed from a 15-month tour in Afghanistan, and at the time, not all its soldiers were airborne qualified. That's why so many of them are here now. While training for airborne can be tough, it helps build camaraderie and a sense of brotherhood between soldiers, something that is essential for future combat situations. But to make it even more of a challenge, this class is on a compressed schedule. The 173rd has to complete the 3-week airborne training course in 11 straight days.
It's hard. It's demanding physically, mentally. The days are long and the schedules just doesn't let up. It's a prestigious unit and you want to be with the best.
And for those who make it, they'll pin on their jump wings at the birthplace of the paratrooper, just like generations of paratroopers before them. Matthew Clegg, Fort Benning TV.
Now, while the 173rd is spending its dwell time to gain new skills, soldiers of the 3rd Heavy Brigade Combat Team are using theirs to retrain and reset for future deployments. Our Sergeant Rebecca Reyes from 3rd Brigade Public Affairs takes us to the ranges where one battalion is hard at work.
Bullets, dirt, and teamwork. That's how soldiers from Able Company, 2nd Battalion, 69th Armor Regiment started off the new year. The buddy team training focused on tactical proficiency and communicating, and built on the individual training that was the company's focus before the new year. For many Able Company soldiers, this type of training was just a refresher.
It's a perishable skill that needs to be, redone over and over again. As they come up, it advances them into the upper ranks. Your PFCs move up to your specialists, so they take on different tasks, as well as your specialists moving up into team leader slots. They take on different tasks and abilities.
A new soldier in the unit, Private Juan Montez, says this is the first time he's done this type of drill.
I get more confidence of working with my squad, and just more confidence in myself of what I know I can do in a situation like this.
As the year progresses, the company will continue to train on different tasks, each one focusing on a larger element, until the brigade's mission readiness exercise at the National Training Center this summer. Reporting from the Malone Range Complex, for Fort Benning TV, I'm Army Sergeant Rebecca Reyes.
Leveraging technology to help improve soldiers' safety and warfighting lethality. It's not a new concept for the Army, but every once in a while the general public gets a bird's eye view. The Maneuver Battle Lab tested robots in Uptown Columbus on Front Street last month to determine their effective video and radio ranges. The robot is the iRobot PackBot 510, and it's used by soldiers to investigate suspicious objects from a distance, thereby avoiding exposure to enemy fire or other dangers.
Robots can perform certain tasks and do it in a way where the soldiers are further away, and it just keeps them safer. And so the further away from whatever they're trying to do, the better. The enemy can't see them. They can be from behind cover and concealment and still operate the robots and get the task done that they need to get done.
The Uptown Columbus experiment also showcased how effective these robots can be in an urban environment by working around obstacles like buildings and cars. From creating new resources for the warfighter to making existing implementations better, the Army is doing its part to protect the environment by making more green-friendly products. One of those is a lead-free ammunition that's being developed right here on post. Fort Benning TV's Matthew Clegg shows us what this new green ammo is all about.
Green-friendly ammunition. Probably words you wouldn't think go together. But that's exactly what this program is all about. The green ammunition that you see here doesn't look that much different from the current ammo being used by soldiers. However, the green ammunition is without one thing: lead.
We are currently interjecting almost 2,000 metric tons of lead into the environment through our training range support. And the intent of the green ammunition program is to get rid of that lead.
Research has shown that small amounts of lead can be highly toxic. Fragments from lead bullets and empty cartridges can introduce residue into the environment, which could spread to creeks and lakes. Lead-free ammunition will offer a solution to this problem, and the benefits of the new ammo will not only be felt on Fort Benning.
What we'll do through the green program is be able to provide soldiers and units all over the continental United States access and ability to use all the ranges and be environmentally compliant with all guidance.
And the transition from lead to green should be seamless to the soldier, or so says John Amick.
So this will be a transparent change from our current MA55 cartridge to an MA55 lead-free slug cartridge that will provide equivalent performance, no loss in training ability, no loss in combat ability through the green ammunition program.
The lead-free ammunition will be undergoing rigorous tests over the coming months to prove its effectiveness. If it passes, these bullets will not only be protecting soldiers' lives, but helping to preserve the environment. Matthew Clegg, Fort Benning TV.